begin in cross-legged or half lotus if you prefer. We'll connect to our breath. Breathing into the center of chest and feeling that breath move through the top of the skull, the base of the pelvis, and start to use those low belly muscles. Let them contribute on the exhalation. So there's a gathering of the low belly as we exhale, and that gathering includes this area just inside the hip bone, around the navel, below the navel. And then 100% soften and relax as we inhale. So we're consciously playing with these polar pairs of actions and sensations. And I wonder, this may be a stretch to wonder this, I wonder if the rehearsal of practicing shifting from one sensation to another sensation doesn't develop a kind of a perspectival flexibility. It's just as our perspective can become ingrained or in a rut, often we'll find bodily correlates so where we'll mentally kind of draw the same path, often we'll bodily draw a very similar movement path, behavioral path. So feel the softening of the abdomen between the hips and around the navel. And then as we're exhaling, feeling the slight efforts to gather, feel that motion and that activity of the low belly, entirely different. And that gathering motion, just as we were playing with before, it's correlated with a subtle lifting up from pelvic floor upward. Let's cross the right knee over the left knee, knee pile. With all these initial seated positions, please choose the cross that allows you to sit with some degree of ease. Shoulder shrugs, relaxing the arms down. Inhale into upper back. You can raise the shoulders a little bit and then squeeze and gather the tops of the shoulders. Exhaling, squeeze, gather, kind of compressively drawing down. On the next several shoulder blade squeezes, we'll check in with the abdomen. We'll feel if there's that pelvic floor connection, if it remains. Inhaling into the back of the heart. And squeeze the blades together, the middle parts of the blades, the upper middle part of the back. And as you're exhaling, the low abdomen, there's that gathering and that knitting. And subtly, internally, there's this drawing up, even as there's this gross, by gross I just mean larger, kind of more superficial, muscular, pulling down. Inhaling, soften abdomen, soften around the heart. Find the bottom tips of the blades. Give them a squeeze. Exhaling, feel for the pelvic floor, the low abdomen. There's a gathering at the low belly. There's a condensing between the shoulder blade tips. I am using those words a little differently to mean different behaviors and possibly different sensations. Let's do that again. Top, middle, and bottom blades. And I wonder if you can track with the pelvic floor and feel that there's some movement in the pelvic floor as you're doing shoulder shrugs. I suspect there may be a handful of us as we squeeze the blades together. I wonder if some of us are also squeezing and densifying, stultifying the motions in the pelvic floor. There's two different qualities of movement in the body, at least. Okay. We'll do a very simple eagle alternate. We'll inhale, we'll reach the arms and the fingertips forward. Note I'm turning my thumb tips down and my palms are facing the walls of the room. And just by simply reaching forward, this is kind of like maybe how one might initiate some swimming strokes. You feel that drawing forward of the shoulder blades. And we'll take a deep breath right between the shoulder blades as you're reaching through the fingertips. If you want to tip your chin down, you might enjoy that. And release. Inhale, we'll unwind. We'll do that set of shoulder shrugs on the other side. So I'm going with knee pile, left over right. You can go any old pile, left over right. And we'll go through 2 rounds. And the study is to feel really 2 seemingly incongruent or mismatched kind of polar pairs of sensations in quick succession. So as we're inhaling into the abdomen, feel the softness of the abdomen, the expansion through the upper back. And then when we gather, when we're squeezing the blades together, feel that condensing of the upper back and feel that effort, that gentle, fluid effort in the low belly. As the blades draw down, there's a subtle, perhaps upward motion of pelvic floor and away from the floor. Middle parts, inhale. Exhaling, squeeze the blades. And feel that the abdomen and the pelvic floor are able to move. Bottom tips. Make sure to soften the belly. That's it. Squeeze the blades. We'll go through one more round at our own pace. A lot of these ringing and condensing actions we engage are about moving the structure and moving the various patterned ways of holding ourselves. Right? It's about like the way we stacked and moved and knocked over building blocks when we were younger, right? This is kind of that manipulative work, and I mean manipulative in a good way, in a playful way, in an active way. We can do this in subtle territory. So instead of building blocks, we have patterns of psyche, patterns of body, and we can manipulate them. We can squeeze them, condense them, stretch them, breathe into them, push them, nudge them, open them, augment them, magnify them. And it's part of a learning process that we, as we manipulate and move and feel and contort and turn these subtle sensations all around, we get a better view. All right, let's place the soles of the feet together. Forward fold, moving sternum over the feet or beyond the feet. We were playing with a couple different things with the foot. You could do active foot the way we often do, which is pressing the 3 points of the foot together, spreading the toes, and creating a slightly shortened active arch. And we also played with being able to press the toe pads to feel the pelvic floor activity. So just as a quick reminder, what we did recently is the inhale is that wonderfully soft, billowing, expansive move, and then we just press toe pads to toe pads as we exhale. And then we let the toe pad pressure go as we inhale. Just another way to stimulate the foot and to wake up the foot. Again, I do all this manipulative work. I use lots of techniques and get lots of different sensations, it's helping me generate choice. Now that I realize I'm not beholden to a pattern, I have the choice to choose that pattern or choose a different pattern, right? And then inhale, we'll come upright, we'll help the legs together, and let's set up for dolphin. So we'll move to our elbows and our knees. Draw the shoulders, the tops of the shoulders down away from the skull. Curl the toe pads under and start to push the toe pads into the mat. So as you're exhaling, there's toe pad pressure. There's low abdomen activity. And we've moved into dolphin. What I was hopefully clear to detail is this toe pad pressure, if you're choosing to play with it, when I'm using it on the exhalation. 2, I'm using the toe pad pressure to stimulate and awaken pelvic floor motion. There's reflexive movements that correspond with our breathing. And 3, maybe most importantly for us today, is it's not clenching with the toes. As long toe joints pressure down, I'm not grasping, clutching, or making white-knuckled toes. So there's no loss of circulation, there's no cutting off the energy circulation to the toes. The toe pads are long and it's pressure down. Take the right foot toes to anchor the left heel cord. Now, if your toes are rotated, you may not want to play with this pressure unless you have some helpful, you can play with toe spacers and such. But so sometimes toes will get a little rotated after sport, or right as bone growth develops and encourages the turning and the rotation of toe joints. Okay. And we'll switch sides, so place the right foot down. Use the left foot toes to anchor the right heel cord. Or place the left foot down to the ground. And gently set the knees down. We'll do our breath and abdominal work standing. So when you're ready, we'll move to our feet. And we'll see if including the toe pad pressure doesn't help us, again, just if it doesn't help stimulate and alert us to these areas in our pelvic floor. So we'll work with Agnisara. I'm going to kind of hinge over, planting palms on thighs, and then inhale. Swift, thorough exhalation. Now you can start with the toe pads, and that may give you some clues to the back of your pelvis, the anal half, and then draw the low belly in, so it's gathering from the pelvic floor, lifting. What's lifting? It's a sensation of mass or energy moving from the pelvic floor upward through the centermost of your body. And yes, there is some structure that kind of lifts. Releasing. So we can do this Agnisara as slow as we like, as fast as we like. I'm choosing very, very slow rounds. I'm noticing with just subtle weight shifts, subtle toe pressure changes, I'm able to highlight more the back side of the pelvis, the front side of the pelvis, okay, and differentiate those activities from the more like the classic Kegel, which is like just that muscular contractive move. Okay, so these are a little different than those. Inhale. And swift, thorough exhalation. And we can draw in and release as slowly or as infrequently as we like. We'll do up to one more. So just complete whatever round that you're on, and we'll do one more. So kind of working at your pace. Again, it's just play. How do the feet? Do the feet. The feet in my body have any pertinent information to deliver to the pelvic floor? Is there any connection there? Did I even expect I would be feeling the pelvic floor in the wee hours of the day? These are really nice to do on empty stomach or fasted state. Okay. And then when you're through, we'll stand, we'll resume Ujjayi breath. And let's actually stand at the top of our mat. palm to palm. Inhale, draw the arms up, telescoping the ribs away from the abdomen. So getting that breath in the top of the sternum. Exhale, fold forward, gathering around the low belly, just inside the hip bones, just above the hip bones. Inhale, step the left foot back, lunge. We'll set the knee down. Hands to ground, exhale, step, right foot back, and we'll lower, plank to ground. Pause here with the belly on the earth. Engage the inner legs, draw them together, squeeze them together. Inhale, float the hands, the elbows, the chest, and the feet may lift up. Exhale, squeeze together the tops of shoulders. Let them release, squeeze the middle parts of the shoulder blades. Let them release, squeeze the bottom tips. We'll do that once more, inhaling. The softness of the abdomen, and then exhale, squeeze the tops of the shoulders. Feel what's happening toward the tailbone. Squeeze the middle parts of the blades. Squeeze the bottom tips of the blades. And release, inhale, letting the chest down, hands under chest. Exhale, downward dog. Use those toe pads, pressurize them. There's a lot of really important activity that stems from the big toe. So as we're curling back and lunging and pressing, those toe pads can be stimulating a lot of reflexes, structure. Right? Lunge, inhale the left foot forward. We'll set the right knee down, drawing the arms up. And place the hands down. Exhale here, use the toe pads. Pressure, step, toe pad, pressure, step that foot forward into fold. And then inhale, stand, drawing the arms up, kind of relieving the toe pressure. The abdomen expands, the ribs expand. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Inhale, draw the arms up, lifting ribs away from the guts. Exhale, fold. Right foot, inhale, step the right foot back, lunge. Hands to ground, exhale, step left foot back, and we'll lower, plank to ground. Here, we'll work boat. Kind of gather the inner legs toward each other, interlace hands. Inhale. Chest lifts, even if just a little bit. Exhale, the legs back. Feel the low abdomen moving and gathering in, reaching the knuckles back. Let's give this 2 more breaths, this boat. I wonder if this isn't a pose where we inadvertently or unconsciously brace the butt, the abs, the pelvic abdominal area, when there could be some useful motion. The belly moves as we're exhaling. And release. Inhale, hands under chest. Curl the toes under, exhale, downward dog. Use those toe pads. On the way back. Lunge, inhale, right foot forward. Kind of lifting, lengthening through this front line of the body. Exhale, hands to ground. Step, toe pad. Step left foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Not only the arms, the chest, the upper back lifts away from the mid-back. Exhaling, hands to heart. We'll remain at standing splits. Keep left foot oriented forward. Grab a hold of the right foot with both hands. Leave the left foot exactly where it is. Grab the outer edge of the foot. Grab the big ball mount side of the foot as you press that right foot forward. It's really nice if you can get that foot grab on each side. You'll feel there's a kind of a stirrup action from the inner leg to the sole of the foot to the outer leg. You can pull back and draw back the little toe, and you can reach forward through the ball mount. You can kind of feel that play and how it lights up all of the shin, outside and inside, outside of ankle, inside of ankle. So if you can, grab that foot with two hands. It's not just about getting the leg up. There's a lot to study on the inside and the outside of the leg. All right. Set that right foot down. We'll keep that right foot oriented forward, other side. Inhale, pick up that left knee, grab the left foot. If you can grab both hands on the foot, do so. And we'll set that left foot down. Return to standing at the top of mat. There you go. Inhale. The arms up, the ribs lift. You can even start to lift back a little bit. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step the left foot back. This time in lunge. So you set the knee down. If your knee requires padding, add it in. We're going hands to back of pelvis for a little extra tractioning. So you can go knuckles or hands on the back of the pelvis. Inhaling, slight squeeze of the elbows toward one another. Pressure down, lifting the chest. More of a breath move than a muscle move. We'll give it a few working breaths here. So I'm actively drawing the elbows together. That's a really, I'd say, the most often missed element of this hand position is that we're actively gathering at the back of the heart. We're actively muscularly gathering. Elbows slightly together, shoulder blade muscles contracting, condensing. All of that to bias and feel the front of the heart. And release. Inhale, hands to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Please choose cobra. If your shoulders or anything is not feeling totally warm yet. Exhaling, downward dog. Lunge, inhale, step the right foot forward. And with the left, pardon me, let me say that again. This time we're stepping the left foot forward. The right knee can be patted. Hands on the back of pelvis. The pressure, slight downward pressure, can be orienting for the pelvis. You might feel that shift down, the tailbone shift down. The pressure on the pelvis can help you feel a sense of traction. You can uncompress the spine. The hand pressure on the pelvis can help you engage the backside of the body, condensing the backside, opening the front side. So I think everyone could gather their elbows a little bit, like an inch closer to each other in the back. Just a little additional, as you really start to feel the floof of the back muscles. So letting all that muscular activity kind of light up around the spine. And release, inhale, hands to ground. Exhale, step the right foot forward, folding. Use the low belly muscles. Don't just collapse forward. Use those belly muscles, gather them, gather them, gather them. You can still feel that upward motion within the body. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Softening the tailbone down. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhaling, fold. Gather with the low belly. Inhale, step the right foot back, lunge with the knee up and the heel up. And you can angle that back foot just slightly so that you're getting the pressure through more of the ball mounts of the forefoot instead of fewer. From lunge to warrior one with pivot and plant that right heel down. Just adjust your stance. We'll do a round of bird wing. Bring the palms up in front of you, forearms parallel with the ground. And so we'll keep feeling for the squeeze, the condensing and the contracting of the muscles. And we can still feel that the pelvic floor doesn't get impeded or its motion stultified just because we're contracting. Inhale into the ribs expanding into the arms. And then exhale, squeeze up near the armpits. I'm slightly gliding my elbows back to broaden through the front. Gliding the elbows down, feeling the exhale, the low belly. So just 2 more contractions, 2 more of these breath movements. Inhale, there's softening, move to softening, relaxing the armpits, relaxing the abdomen, relaxing the pelvic floor, the toes. And then exhale is the squeeze. You can use toe pressure. You can keep your feet active, toes lifted. So does the contraction of my back have some independence from the breath movements of the pelvic floor? Inhale, hands to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. As I'm lowering, I'm going right through those bird wing motions. The chest is broad. Inhale, upward dog, cobra. Otherwise, exhaling, downward dog. Lunge, inhale the right foot forward. This is knee up, heel up. And I'm turning my back foot in just a little bit so I can feel more of my ball mounts pressuring the ground, more of my toe pads instead of fewer. And inhale, sending that left heel down to the ground for warrior one. Palms out in front. Here's that bird wing. We'll do 3 breath rounds on our own. And just feeling if the squeeze of the arms can be differentiated from what's happening in the pelvic floor and the low abdomen. And inhale, releasing hands to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. We're going to continue with vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog, using those bird wings in your upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. And gently set the knees down. And we'll pad the knees. And have another go at camel this week. Feel free to insert anything between the legs that helps you create a gathering and a security for your low back. Look down in your camel setup and just ensure that one knee isn't placed forward of the other. You can see and feel your pelvic bones. Just feel if one pelvis bone is further forward than the other. So we can just start to notice any of those rotations. If you have those types of rotations, you might benefit greatly from using a wall. And that way you can put your thighs and your hips right up against a plane so there's no further rotating in space. Okay? And then go hands to back of pelvis. And we'll go about 8 breaths, inhaling first, pressuring down. Get that elbow, the elbow to elbow squeeze. And the pressure down also moves the shoulders away from the jawline. By using your hands on your glutes, you might be alerted to one glute feeling more overpowering than another. You might feel the contraction of one side of your pelvis greater than the other. You might feel the weight shift. You might have a common or a habituated weight shift into one thigh more than the other. Okay, so just consider a resting moment here. We'll do a round 2. Whenever you're ready, about 8 breaths. Remember, you can go as mild as you like. You can go hands to heels if you like. So kind of in a freestyle moment. I think a nice unwind might be a lounge. Nope, let me say that. A lounge lunge. So here's what I mean by that. If you're through, we can step 1 foot forward. I have my right foot forward. My left leg is back quite a bit in lunge. And my right arm is hugging my right thigh. Inhaling, unwind. We'll set the hands down. Exhaling into downward dog. We'll just transfer to the other side. Inhaling, left foot forward. Setting right knee down. Right hand remains down, and we'll hug that outer left thigh. Inhaling, we'll unwind, have a seat. We are preparing for Shavasana. So if there's any final adjustments, like putting the legs up the wall or taking a form of a fold, anything that allows you to soften and lengthen the back, please insert any of those helpful moves to you here. And so when you arrive in Shavasana, now is an appropriate time to feel softness as you're breathing. So we'll drop the technique of those very active low belly muscles. So there's more of a rise and a fall of the body. All of those techniques are wonderful manipulates. They help us engage with something that we might miss playing with. They help us play with our patterns of thought, our patterns of behavior, of posture's behavior, our patterns of breath, our patterns of mind. To me, these Shavasana moments are a lot like just stepping outside those first moments of the day, just to regard and absorb and take in and sense what the world is, what the environment is in this particular moment. We're feeling that internal temperature, that internal weather. We'll experience the nature of consciousness with whatever filters and structures and patterned ways through which we filter. We'll feel it through the mind of our bones and our skin and our beliefs. So it's so wonderful to feel into the mind and the patterned carriage of all of these ways that we, quote unquote, hold ourselves together. We structure ourselves. And somehow that might actually help us release the structured way that we've brought ourselves together, that we've learned ourselves to some conglomeration of our person. And when you're ready, bend knees. Let's turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.